Top of the morning. Good morning. Good morning. Not because it's 10 a.m. in sunny California, but because we're all so early to the metaverse. And if you're here now, we're all going to make it. Today we have four of the usual suspects in the room. How you doing there, Jesse Whitakis?
I am doing well. It's good to be here.
And how you doing, Ray Veezy? Rome.
I'm doing all right.
There,
I'm coming
there
in
you go.
clear. You got the wax on, wax off. You have to try to stay balanced within all the blood on the market. So
Hmm.
hang in there, everyone.
A lot of
Oh yeah,
roadkill out there.
absolutely. And how you doing there, Fancy At?
Yeah, doing great. It's good to have a normal episode, pretty laid back, and a lot of good news coming.
Yeah, pretty chill day and a lot of good news. Like Ray said, there is blood in the streets. The markets are down, massive bear market vibes going on, but we're all still here staying positive. I mean, we all know that 2024 is coming, so it's all about time horizon on that kind of stuff, usually, right? So to start things off, we have Solana going down again.
Yeah, it was quite annoying to anyone trying to interact with anything, and yeah, a lot of people were affected. Transactions per second went down to like 2 when I checked it yesterday on Solana Beach.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was over there trying to do my ships, and I was having major difficulties yesterday. Luckily, I was on top of it, so I don't think I lost anything. But yeah, it's pretty bad.
I wasn't online most yesterday, so I wasn't paying attention to the news on it. So, was this considered as big as the major disruption that we saw last year?
Uh, well, that happened for a bit longer. Right now,
Mhm.
things are back up. So, what I believe happened was probably a big mint or something. That's usually what happens, and loads of people try and get the same thing at once. It's not the only story we have about that today.
It's
Mhm.
interesting because there was a big mint going on ETH that we'll talk about in a bit, I guess. But Solana's a completely different chain. They were going on at the same time, both having problems. That's two of the primary layer one solutions were both having massive problems yesterday, which is pretty interesting in Web3.
Yeah, so with mainnet beta losing consensus, I mean that basically is the model for blockchain that shuts everything down. If you don't have all servers in consensus, nothing can move. So yeah, I'm curious. Like, it sounds like it was someone's bot that was trying to take advantage of an opportunity, and so they flooded, just like very much like last time. It was also, I think it was an IDO last time that someone was trying to take advantage of. And so that begs the question, like, what is the model going forward? What can Solana and even other chains do to prevent this sort of thing? Because if you have projects that are racing to Solana because of the high speed number of transactions that it can do, which is essentially the only chain that can rival what Visa MasterCard can do for transactions. What is the answer when all of a sudden you have those that can use bots like this to just create chaos? I mean, this is the whole point, is growing pains. That's why it's still mainnet
Right.
beta. But
Mhm.
what is the protection going to be? That needs to be built in to prevent this sort of thing.
Yeah, I forget where I saw it. It was a video of just the last major halt of transactions because of all the bottlenecking that took place, and how there's already a mechanism where if there is some type of bottleneck, then it hops over to another type of, I'm not that technically savvy with the contract and how it all operates, but I can only expect that the project or the network improves from these things happening. So they'll keep refining and just iterating on
Right.
top of what they have already as everyone understands and should know that it's in beta compared to Ethereum, right?
Right.
It's doing a better job as far as the amount of transactions, and it was only because of this bot that pushed it to its limits. But you got both parties from the Solana maxis to the EVM maxis of just I also think Ethereum is going to be the cornerstone of any networks out there that maybe all networks come back to if they fail, because a lot of things are branched out from. EVM, but I think Solana is just trailing its own blazing its own trail in a way just on its own, and it's going to take a little bit of time and a lot of working on top of what they have to make these things just become a blimp on the radar instead of a major hole in the ground that stops all transactions.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the team says or does during these times. On like a consumer side, I don't regret selling some of my like extra small ships that you have to refuel every day because that
Such
meant
a
I
pain.
wasn't affected by any of this. I refueled yesterday, so yeah.
Yeah, my Unibombers drive me crazy, man. They're like a day in like 2 hours or something wild like that. I'll push back a little bit and give a little devil's advocate though, and say that I don't think these layer one wars, if you could call it that or not, are complete yet. I don't think the verdict is out. You have Ethereum, you have Solana, you have Cardano, you have stacks built on top of Bitcoin. These are all basically in beta, and they're all iterating and building as they go, building it while they're flying it, and we're super early, so super dangerous out there if you got your money involved, and or if you're relying on this technology. But at the same time, that's where no risk, no reward. You know what I mean? So if you're here now when the technology's early and you're there on the ground floor, then obviously you're going to experience some wins from that, and that's what I'm involved in. But it's I don't really bet on Ethereum to win or Solana to be the one. I think I talked about this on a previous show where I tend to want to kind of spread my stuff out. I have it in Solana NFTs, Ethereum NFTs. I'm in the Cardano. I'm in the stacks as well. I think that's the safer play. Because you don't know what's going to happen with any of these things. They're all beta, like you said, right?
Yeah,
Anybody?
and it's like the technology. In order for it to become battle tested, it's got to be in battle.
Well, you learn far more from your failures than your successes, right? So in order for you to create these blockchains that work perfectly, they have to fail in a way so that you can learn how to fix it, right? So
For sure.
And it's definitely not easy to do in a decentralized manner, which Solana isn't as decentralized as some of the others, so that's why they're able to move a lot faster. If we're all done with that, we can move on to the Fed protocol. 80 million hack tweets.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting one just because the amount that was taken. And here's the tweet asking for 70 mil of it back, and then they won't ask any questions. It's quite typical in DeFi and black hat hacking. Mainly it was due to a couple line of codes that could be summarized on one page. Borrow 2,392 ETH. Exit.
Wow.
Yeah, just another day in the coding world.
I agree.
Across Twitter and crypto.
Another day in the Wild Wild West.
This was something you brought to my attention, Ray. Do you want to talk a bit about this?
Sure. Yeah, pretty much there's a lot of supportive sentiment from companies and then the leaders that are current or former when it comes to gaming. So this is former Nintendo icon Reggie wishes he could sell his Animal Crossing island on blockchain. So he might not have the complete understanding on how it would technically work, but he knows that what is possible already exists and it's happening as we're all in here. Up to here in our with our nose into NFT everything and gaming assets and whatnot. So when he was asked about the thoughts on the current NFT, current rise of NFTs, there's a little clip here. I guess we can play. He gave his opinion.
Play to earn in the future of gaming.
Yeah. So I'm a believer in blockchain. I think blockchain as a technology is really compelling technology. I'm also a believer in the concept of play to own within video games. And I say this as a player where I may have invested 50 hours in a game, 100 hours in a game. There are some games I've invested 300 hours in a game. And when I'm ready to move on to something else, wouldn't it be great to monetize what I've built? I mean, I bet I'd have some takers here today if I wanted to sell my Animal Crossing island, from the latest Nintendo Switch version, right? I'd like to be able to monetize that. Blockchain technology embedded in the code and in the development would enable me to do that. So I'm a believer in the technology and where it's headed. Now, I say that in the context of it needs to make sense for the player. It can't just be an approach by the developer that it's interesting or it's a way for them as a development entity to make more money. In the end, it's got to be good for the player.
Mm-hmm.
But I see an opportunity.
I'm a mom.
Yeah,
actually,
very
his
positive
language is
sentiment
interesting.
by,
I'm sorry. You cut it off right when she was like, "I'm a mom," and then my next thought was like, "What does that have to do with what he just said?" But I'm sure she
let's
explains
see.
My kids play games in moderation. We're big on family costumes. We did Mario one year. I was Yoshi.
I should have been,
Big
should have been, Wario or Waluigi.
So his language is that that it should be as Punjab pointed out, play to own, but everything that he described there was still centralized in its architecture, meaning like it never left that platform. You could sell it to someone else that wanted to stay within that ecosystem, and that truly doesn't leverage the real power of blockchain. So I'm curious if he's thought beyond that, or if he's just still in that centralized corporate mentality of this is how we could use blockchain to our advantage.
Yeah, I have an interesting take on this because has it not crossed any one of these traditional gaming company developers' minds, or has anyone ever thought of this before? We know the stories of World of Warcraft with the sword, and then the banning of the accounts, and then RuneScape, and everyone is doing this on some level, whether black market is, quote unquote, or just privately behind doors. So this isn't a new idea, right? So it's only now that these companies are coming around, or these prominent figures, past or now, or post, or before and after, are coming out talking about it in a way where it's just like you cannot escape what's happening, and it's coming to the forefront. So now, of course, play to own. I've heard that before, right? When Axie was transitioning from the play to earn model, there was a lot of just play on words on what should it be called. Then GameFi came about, and everyone was like, "Get the hell out of here, GameFi! Take that back to DeFi." Right, the DeFi land, because this is NFT world, and there was a lot of hate on just DeFi. But you had Bankless and all these other people in the space who covered DeFi things talk about and try to understand GameFi, right, or NFT gaming, metaverse world, as a way to incorporate it in conversation, because there was a distinct separation, and I think more and more there's the bridges are connecting, but between gamification of these games with NFTs and just the metaverse world of these NFT games, and then DeFi as we know it, just related to tokens, staking, and harvesting or looping, and all these other things you can do to earn an APR or APY. So it's just like none of this is technically new to us, but I guess for a lot of people watching and hearing their role model in a lot of cases, right? A lot of people look up to Nintendo, specifically this gentleman here who was just like instrumental in a lot of things that took place over the years. So for him to just be talking about it is a bullish thing, and it brings a lot more support to the space outside of just whatever the negativity was for a while.
I can see a lot of those closed systems creating a marketplace so that people do own their items and can, and there may even be, to some extent, I don't play enough of them to know what the model is now, but then doing something along the lines of taking a commission for each transaction, and then that being their monetization model for having the marketplace for exchange.
Well, I think that's the new version of pay to win. You know what I mean? I mean, it used to be, you were buying cosmetics in a store. Now they'll make money off of the transaction fees from people trading cosmetics, and it'll be, probably the same numbers for them, if not a lot more. And just better, the player base will just be better off. So
there's some people that are camped out even on, like OpenSea, that are making plenty of money, a full-time living by just working arbitrage and finding good deals and getting in the communities. And a lot of times you can get some of the better deals in the community. A person that's looking to offload something. I saw somebody looking to sell a ranching hamlet for something that was ridiculously priced, I thought, for what they were letting it go for, just because they needed the capital. And then of course, the person could grab that, drop it on OpenSea, and just through arbitrage be making lots of money. So it's interesting
man.
how the market is being created that way.
One of my scholars actually quit my scholarship and just to pursue his NFT flipping full time, Jesse, and was doing pretty good at that. I won't say his name, but he left me, started flipping NFTs, started farming whitelists and stuff like that, and being in all the discords and all that, and he was pretty happy with it. So I don't know how it's going now that the market's taking a turn.
Right.
We're gonna have to we're gonna have to feel our pain, just like everybody else in the market. I think definitely going into 2023. You know what I mean? Right before the next halving, I think it'll probably be a dark time. So moving on. Yuga Labs unoptimized smart contract caused average gas fees of $3,500 during the much-awaited Bored Ape Yacht Club Other Side Metaverse land sale. Craziness that went on yesterday.
Yeah, it was a lot of hype. You needed the ape coin and ETH to mint, so there was a lot of people trying to do it at the same time. Caused very, very high gray, and you can see it here. I think this might have been at its worst. But just craziness.
Nasty. Crazy enough, the NFTs for the land, the deeds they were at 6 earlier when I checked, and now they're right around 7 ETH. So for some of you whales out there, they're not out of reach yet. Actually, interesting. I would have thought that the floor would have took off on this with all that movement, but it's still, it's not like where stuff was at the top of the market. That's for sure. So it's still possible to get in some of these projects, especially over the next couple of months while things take their nosedives.
Yeah, there was a 60K Ethereum traded in the first less than 24 hours once it was on secondary. So that's a lot. 60K ETH I'm talking, and it was just insane. Of a lot of people upset. I remember there was some pushback against Bored Ape Yacht Club during the NFT NYC days of last year because of a lot of the releases and mints. Although you were able to secure these NFTs by having, there was always a little mini bumps in the roads along the way, and it was just but this was pretty uncalled for. But some people wouldn't say that was the case because of how big the project was as far as support
the contract, it had a lot of things in it that were quite unnecessary, and when you're on the Ethereum chain, that adds up really quickly. This guy Will Pepper, he's the head of some DAO, I can't remember. He went through the code and found things that would have saved 70 million in 1 hour, and multiple little things that just tripped everyone up and turned it into one of the biggest gas events in history, I think.
I think it's the record. It's holding the record now. It's the biggest gas war
the largest
in history. Yeah,
NFT. And,
there's a conspiracy of how this was intentional, just so it can garner the support by the masses of them building out their own blockchain, when technically it's not necessary. There's a lot of conversation on crypto Twitter of Immutable X would have handled this and you would have saved a lot more on gas, or ZK rollups, which is another way. And then Owl of Moistness, a prominent and renowned developer. Smart contract writer. he came out and gave his suggestions on ways that this could have been fixed. So it's kind of hard to believe because of how large they are and how much money they already had, for why they hadn't done anything prior to this to make it
well.
Why was it audited? So either way, no matter how you're gonna peel the banana.
I was watching all the
gonna be
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say either way, there's gonna be demand just because of the hype of the project. Whether you get in because you were in before and just are finished with just all the hype, it's going to be hard for any project to just flop when they're this big for now.
Yeah, I was watching a lot of the accusations fly on Twitter, and it is an interesting thing because if you think about it, these guys, when you start talking about the top of the Web3 food chain, Yuga Labs is up there, and they're in these private discords with the LEO trades, the Neo Tokyo guys, the Kongs guys. A lot of them are in. They're all holders of each other's projects, and they're all, a lot of them are communicating. So it's just interesting when you see problems that have been solved by other organizations not be solved by one of the top Web3 organizations out there. Yuga Labs, you would have expected them to have already had a handle on how to do a drop with low gas fees. That LEO Trades Imposter drop, the average gas fees were like $30. And that was another hyped one that should have been huge. You should have had a gas war on that, and you didn't because he did it properly, So it's an interesting thing. Shout out to Tilquin from the chat. My favorite Sunday show. Appreciate you, fella. I just had to shout you out because of that beard, man. That thing looks majestic. I had to say something. All right. Moving on. Ray, did you want to bring up that DeFi Kingdoms exploit?
Yeah, so I didn't pull up too many slides because there was large post-mortem writings in the Discord of DeFi Kingdoms. But let me yeah, so there was an exploit of around 7 million from when I last saw it, and there was something that happened with the XJewel contract, which what exactly was happening was that people who had mining heroes, which unlock your locked jewel from your liquidity pools earlier than later, was exploited, and people were creating and sending their X jewel to another wallet address for their heroes to mine. So so people who had a lot of mining heroes were able to basically mint more X jewels, selling them as they were coming in than what anyone else was able to. And so I'm not the most tech savvy as far as like exactly how it all happened on the contract end, but needless to say, there was tremendous FUD that took place after the fact because for a long time, I think it's since January, this was actually something that was brought up by the community and voted on as like a red flag, and it wasn't addressed until just the day before yesterday, and it was a quick less than 24-hour fix. So at the time, if you go through the Discord announcements where Frisky Fox, who is I'll call him the founder here, or the man in charge, he basically was saying that at the time they weren't able to do a quick fix as they just did, because a lot of people were like, oh, it took 4 months and now you do it in less than 3 hours or 24 hours, whatever the time frame was. And at the time, from what they were saying, which I tend to believe, like, that team are on another level as far as transparency. Yeah, these things happen, and they just had an AMA just this morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that'll be on YouTube, and I guess anyone interested could go watch that once it's uploaded for more specific details, because it's in reference to exactly what happened with that first situation with the contract being exploited and then XJewel being sold. And then soon after that, a totally separate related incident where on the white paper, there was a wallet address that initially provided funding for liquidity pools when the project first started, was not a wallet address that was a developer's wallet address. And it was brought up by the community because that person who was all the while playing and taking part in the game, questing, liquidity providing, earning staking rewards, and the whole nine, made some pretty big moves, and sold, and that also kind of furthered the price down, from what I'm understanding. And again, you could read all these things. So there was some more explanation on Frisky Fox's part to explain like what happened there, who was it. It was an acquaintance of his that helped add liquidity at the time and was allowed to play with that address. That person wasn't savvy with crypto to even operate, so it was Frisky Fox doing the managing up until just this exploit happened first, and then the light brought to that wallet address that wasn't the correct one on the white paper. So all in all, the issues were resolved. since within the shortest amount of time I ever seen a project resolve any issues, and kudos to the team for that. And again, if you just check out
So,
that
was it only the treasury that lost out? So it wasn't like anyone else lost. No one lost anything personally. There was a handful of people that were able to take advantage of the exploit to the tune of 7 million. So that 7 million was spread across, like, did they know how many wallets, how many people?
I think it was just one. Yeah, it was
one person.
One, yeah, from what correct me if I'm wrong, community, but I just remember it being a huge dump on the market, which kind of like outside of the bear market in general, just further cascaded the price down, and then the faith of the community was shocked that first round, and then soon after, within like 24 hours, that wallet address of initial liquidity just to bootstrap the project. In the beginning days was a whole other thing. And again, all of this is further explained in detail by Frisky Fox himself. And then just that was 2 days ago, and then just today with their AMA that was on the Discord that will be posted on YouTube. And it's just, but since then, right after the AMA, the price back bounced up 40 to 50%. So I caught the end tail, the end leg of what the AMA was, and yeah, nothing is fundamentally wrong with the project. Like, the team are sound. It's a constantly growing project, but these things, happen, and thanks to
We're
the
going to see
community.
this in every single game. We just need to get, this is just going to be a part of it. Just like every MMORPG out there and first person shooter where people find exploits until they plug the hole. That's just the nature of gaming. It's going to be there.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing them more and more often now, I guess, because there's more attention and opportunity in the space, depending on where you're looking.
That honeypot is growing.
Yeah. So hopefully the exploits will be maintained to where it's the treasury of the project, that takes a hit rather than exploits that are actually draining resources from individuals. So that's where things kind of get ugly.
Yeah.
Right, so there was
if a community gets hurt, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and there's conversation of what they're going to do with the amount that was that in that wallet address that wasn't in control of Frisky Fox, or it is, but it technically wasn't his, and nothing is going to be done on that end, and they're going to decide on, or maybe have a community vote, something of the sort, but still too early. And then also on Twitter, it was just otherworldly. Like, Twitter is just another if you really want some negativity, you go to Twitter, like, because there is just nothing else like it when it comes to a project that has an exploit or just some bad news, or if a project hasn't done something, which was like either staking rewards for items they held for so long, and yeah, so people were throwing shade left and right on Twitter compared to what the Discord was, which was a bit more supportive or questioning of like, hey, give it some time, because it wasn't a rug pull. And that's another thing. The word rug pull, it's like thrown around, that's the only word that exists these days whenever something happens. And
you have a just right quick, you'll have a project that does a NFT drop, and then they get that funding from the NFT drop. They sit down, they start going to work, and people are in their Discord talking about it's a rug pull. Nothing's happening. We went 1 week without any news. It's over.
Yeah. So like, some people know better because they're invested a little bit more than the next person, or they just keep up to date with all the information and what's happening. Granted, not every project shares everything that's going on at every minute of the day, but if you're more or less bullish based off of the sound information that you have that's given to you, not just because you have big bags in the project that you're depending on to go up, then you'll stick around, and you'll probably potentially buy these dips if you have a better understanding. So a lot of people who left, I'd say, just like in all these other projects we probably are or have been a part of, have left because the opportunity to make money has now stopped or slowed down tremendously. And once those people get out of the community, then there's this, like, I guess this rebirth of just the people who've been there. Even though every project needs more liquidity, right? It's never a bad thing. It's good to have more money in, but if people are solely just here for making money and not caring about the game and its development for the long haul, then how many of these games do we actually see that are great games that don't have the budget or the the funding like a Gala Games. Like Gala Games, it doesn't matter who says what, if there's shade or anything, right? They'll ban them, but then even if they did ban them, they still got the money to do what they got to do. But these smaller projects that are way more promising in different ways, they might not have and rely a lot on community and investors up until a certain point. But
And that's how you have that's how you get that slow rug, right? So, you got the regular rug pull, which is nefarious. The devs and everybody, they are, from the outset, know that they're going to rug pull. And then you have the slow rug, which could be the same, but also could be a situation where they just don't have the ability to get the job done. And one of those failures could be the inability to keep their community engaged and positive, like you say.
Right.
I mean, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, some people fail in the drawing room.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And to be clear, DeFi Kingdoms, from what was already shared with the community, they have enough for years, for development. So it's not like anything is going to stop as far as development of the game. They have all this stuff coming out still, from what I'm, keeping up with. And I don't have any second guesses. It just sucks that the bear market plus the exploits and everything just compounds in the wrong direction. So yeah, I'm still very much interested in seeing the team bounce back and just keep developing and releasing some things for the community.
Yeah, I mean, personally, and I think I might have said this, a few months ago, like I prefer the bear market to the bull market. You know what I mean? Like I prefer to watch all these prices going down. Maybe, maybe I like pain or whatever. I don't know. But the thing is that these are the times when everything goes slow. Everything slows down. The scams aren't popping so much. It's a lot easier to weed through the scams, and it's a lot easier to look at the projects and see who's actually working and who's not, and see who's actually going to be building for the long haul and who's not, who's actually going to be able to make it through these liquidity crunches of the bear market, and who can't. You can actually see this a lot easier during the bear market. So it's actually to me it's a everything's on sale. It's a buying opportunity, not financial advice.
Yeah. So that was pretty much it for DeFi Kingdoms, and then so we could bring it back over.
Right on. So moving forward, we'll move on to Star Atlas, which is also on sale, like everything else in the market. Ships are on sale. Atlas and Polis are on sale, and this is a project that's still building and still putting that work in. So let's go on ahead and.
I quickly brought up prices because you mentioned it. There is
okay.
major sales right now. We did talk about
fire
it
sale,
in the Discord.
Baby.
It's a shame really for me because the one I'm looking at the most, it's the one only minus 7% off. Capital class gun is very tempting for me.
Look at you. You know what's funny is I'm always looking at that Visa's OPOD because it was kind of stupid priced, and now it's decent.
Yeah.
So might be picking up a Caligo evac here soon too. That one's coming down. So anyway, let's start with this Scream gameplay prototype.
Yeah, a lot of hype to see something like this in action. Let's have a look at it.
I think what Star Atlas is doing is reawakening our intergalactic curiosity, reawakening our intergalactic urge. It's ourselves that we look into when we look out into space. And this is where the metaverse is so interesting. For I think what Star Atlas is rendering finally is a cosmos in which we can explore, a cosmos in which we have agency.
Yeah, and very exciting stuff. I think I'll just leave that in the background playing while we talk.
Yeah, that's to steal from Mike McCarthy from Gala Games. We're seeing how the sausage is made, right? Like seeing how the gears and levers of the game are actually going to work.
It is ourselves.
Yeah, and this is just like a prototype of how everything can work. Like in the foundation room, it is mentioned that like traveling across the entirety of the universe this quickly isn't very realistic. It depends what they have planned down the road and what works out. There's still like a lot of testing and how they can add like incentives and decentives and burning to things. That'd be cool if they could add burning to the stage.
Yeah, for sure. Punjab, yeah. I played CSC a bit. It was one of those first star, crypto games, if you want to just call them that. It was pretty cool, and yeah. Other than that, I just think it's a great start. It's as far as Star Atlas producing something that we can all engage in, other than just clicking and staking and claiming. So kudos to the team.
Yeah, it's going to make people start to think about what they actually have, what they need. I doubt many of the collectibles will be very useful at this stage, but even like the smallest ship could prove some type of use if you can send it off to do its own little thing.
Yeah,
So,
I wonder what dangers we might encounter, if any, if that was talked about. Like the chances of something happening to your ship other than just running out of fuel.
I agree, yeah, and it's useful to see how like the map kind of functions in this way. Like I do like the previous map we were given, and yeah, like as I said, it'd be quite unrealistic for one person to travel from ONI to Mud instantly.
Yeah.
So what's interesting though is that it's my understanding that the score will only involve safe and medium risk zones. However,
Yes.
on that video that we were looking at, it showed the bulk of the activity taking place on that map in the center of those three, which here is categorized as a high risk zone.
Yeah, it'd be cool if we could see what like ship was being used. Is that an PX4? I think it is.
So in this map,
Enhanced.
see how you have all that congestion in the middle there? That is by definition of the other map is the high risk zone.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah,
That's where the party happens.
and on the roadmap report this week, they do talk like a bit about the asteroid belts and never to go through them. Doesn't matter if this will be a hassle or make you spend more fuel. Simply do not go through the asteroid field.
Shout out to the Star Atlas team. I'm loving these little stories, man. I don't know. I'm a nerd.
Yeah,
But
I read books all at once in like a day, so I'm gonna wait till there's
are you okay?
like a whole chapter of these or whatever till
Nice.
like
No,
there's
this
a
one-
logical ending. Then I'll read it.
This one was actually pretty fun, just because I'm a big fan of the Tufa anyway, and so this particular article is about the Tufa fights and an ambush they set up. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. Shout out to Wen.
Is that who's doing the writing?
It's the name of the guy in the story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So with the showroom, a lot of the things are done now or building, and you see a lot of words in here that are making it seem like they're just refining, as it says. They have something, and it's going to be ready soon once they want to give it to us.
With staking of Polis? Thanks.
This is the showroom.
Yeah, but I just want staking with Polis too. Can we have both, please?
Where is the staking?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Devs, do something.
Building.
And so that kind of goes back to it, right? Like, I think that these economic models are still being worked out, and I think that's the problem with the staking of the Star Atlas tokens.
We are 60 days from the year being half over, so yeah, I'd like to see some.
Because I'm just watching I'm watching all the changes that Gala's going through in order to try to build an economy in their ecosystem. Like, that's obviously very much a work in progress. But one thing I have to say about Gala is they're staying ahead of it and adjusting things before they become a massive problem. And so I think I'll give Star Atlas some grace when it comes to the tokenomics. I think that's something that's going to take a while.
Yeah, I find it interesting. Unless Fancy, you wanted to continue with infrastructure.
Yeah, go ahead, and then I'll Go ahead.
Well, it was kind of like related, but not related. It's a
Yeah,
kind of
okay, I'll go on then.
yeah.
So they're talking about setting up communication servers for MMO and social features, friends, chats, clans, and parties. So thought it'd be quite interesting to see what you guys would want. Like, what features would you envision when you see this type of thing? And yeah,
Well, if they're
I
going to
mean,
do that, and then the name of the game here, more than anything else, is going to be collaborative efforts, and so they already know that, like Rome, there are many guilds that are gearing up to play. So if you're going to create a communication server that is going to enable social features and things like that, chats and clans, my question is like what does that entail, and what do they envision, and when do they start the conversation to ask those that run guilds what kind of guild features we'd like to see?
not only that, but I think that we don't really necessarily want a social environment without a gameplay loop, right? So you're gonna have to. I mean, please don't just give us like the showroom and have us walking around talking to each other and chatting, and that's the whole thing. Because, you know, that's just gonna cause more slow rug drama from the peanut gallery. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, you got to have at least some kind of gameplay loop in there, whether it's you launch the manufacturing and the building and stuff alongside it or something. You know.
Yeah, for sure. It's like everyone's anticipating something more than what we might even get. I like expectations just run really high in the space from what I experience. And you
Yeah.
know, to the point I was going to make before Fancy continued, or what before, yeah, is that a lot of people are now talking and feeling as if this whole model of having a token in a game while the game's being developed shouldn't be the case, right? Let's build these games that can eventually onboard tokens and this whole economic, I guess, model or structure. But at any one point, you have to be doing it simultaneously on some level, right? And how it's all going to work is still going to yet to be seen, because unless it's practiced behind the scenes and tested, you're not with only a small part of the team. It's not really going to be something to scale, or maybe it is. Like I'm not the one building economies out here, but yeah, there's this whole type of dialogue taking place of like build fun games first now. We tried all this 2 token model, 1 token model stuff, and we're trying to make it happen, but it's just too early still. Maybe like we're too ahead of our time when it comes to all these types of models with economies in games, and we
Well, I
should
think
just take a
I
step
think we're
back.
just in the
What
learning
do you think?
stages. I think we're just in the learning stages when it comes to the 2 token model. I think one day we're going to look back and say, "Hey, you remember when everybody thought they could create an economy with just a 2 token model? Remember that?" And laugh about it. You know what I mean? Because we're already seeing that evolve. You know, and so in the beginning, you had people who didn't have anything going on launching an NFT project to fund, and then launching a token to fund, and then coming back behind it and trying to build everything and create everything and fix everything.
Right.
And now, like you kind of mentioned, right now we're starting to see projects come out where they've already built a lot of the thing already, and then they drop the NFT. You know what I mean? So I think that's coming. I think in the future that's going to be the bar. Like you're going to be able to demand like, hey, I need to see a working product before I want to be involved in your game. But we're still dealing with the pioneers. Star Atlas is one of the pioneers.
Yeah. So I was just bringing it up as a neutral, because I see it both as you're gonna have to do it eventually and go through the same growing pains. So there'll be some pros and cons to whichever route you choose, but we see it a lot too. And I liked how damn, I can't even, what's his name from Nintendo. Why is it not popping up in my head?
The former COO. Yeah.
Right, the former CEO. He was talking about how you're investing your time. He said that many times, right? So it's clear to him that we're investing our time. So when companies like Gala try to have the narrative spun in a way where it's just like there's no investment at all, it's just uneasy to me, because it's just like there's nothing but all of us, from developers to gamers to investors, investing time and actual funds, right? And trying to make it all work together. So the more we stay in the realm of reality, I guess the quicker we'll all get to where we see the space going.
I really like how you said that as far as calling it a time investment, because we've noticed that, like, over the past decade, the social media companies have basically taken our attention and our time and monetized it. So wherever you're giving your attention to, whatever you're putting your time into, a lot of that being social media for most people, and it's all being monetized, but you're not getting any of the value back. And so now I think it's going to be reasonable for people to say, hey, if you want me to play your game, I'm sitting here, I have to watch all these ads while I'm playing your game, or there's ads inside the game, like in a Ready Player One type situation. I'm having to do these transaction fees in order to do these trades and whatnot. What am I earning? What am I getting from playing your game as opposed to someone else's? So I think that's going to be a part of the market here too. So
yeah, huge philosophy change, mind shift are happening. So people are going to demand more and more as the space grows and people learn about it to get something in return.
I think the bar should be high.
Yeah, but there's a couple sides to it, and I agree that we're in the learning phase, and a lot's going to change as the market dictates what they will and will not tolerate, because that's basically, what company will continue to do as long as they can. But you have some projects where they are focused on just a game, and it's a game that they shouldn't be too far away from bringing to market. Like, for example, if Gala was all about Spider Tank, then Spider Tank should already be on the market. But as Benefactor stated in the Discord just before we started the show, that Gala currently has 28 games in development. Okay, which is why you probably only see a couple that are functional, and it's going to be a long way off. That's a lot of different places to be focused. As where Star Atlas, I see Star Atlas a little bit different than a traditional game, because I believe that what they're trying to build is an infrastructure. They're trying to build where do games follow? Is that like layer 3, layer 4, somewhere in there? But what they're building is something that I think that they have a vision to be open, that other things build on top of. So in this early stage, part of it is you're investing in their future right alongside them. But that's not to say I don't have critiques for how they've roll this out. We know I do. But I see it as a bit different model than just a lot of the games, where the games are going to be fun and playable, and you can pretty much develop the thing really quick. This is not a fast development. So they have to figure out what are the cycles, what are the things that they can deliver that makes it playable, enjoyable in the meantime, so that the community stays focused and interested, because they still have under 200,000 people in the Discord. So it's not like the growth has been there in that regard. While they are developing. So yeah, it's a tough model, and I think everyone's learning as they're going, but you better keep the folks interested. Otherwise you lose interest, and that's when things start to go sideways.
I think Star Atlas is the most ambitious project that I'm invested in, definitely gaming wise. But I do have to say there's a lot of similarities to me with them and Gala, because Gala is kind of doing something similar to what you were just saying, as far as they're building a platform. They're building the Steam of games, right? Which obviously there's competitors, but I mean, let's be honest, Scala is the front runner in that department. And so, like, Spider Tanks isn't even being built by them. That's like a Korean developer that's building Spider Tanks. But as far as I know, they only doing Townstar and Miranda's that I know for sure.
Well, when I say that Gala's doing the development, I'm meaning that. So here's what Gala is unspoken promise to these developers. At least we don't know it on the community side, but my guess is it's like, hey, developer, you develop your game and we'll make it blockchain friendly, and we'll be partners in that. That part is still unproven.
And we'll help you monetize and sell the NFT, right? That's the big thing they're doing.
Part beyond the selling of the NFT.
That's what they're able to do. Yeah. You come to us and we'll get you a nice bag, because our NFTs sell out immediately. Right. You know what I mean? And that's basically what they're doing right now, right?
Yeah, Myra is another ecosystem like Gala, and I guess if nothing else on Star Atlas, I guess we can touch on. Yeah. Oh, we do. Okay, go ahead then. Yeah, we could talk about Gala and some things related to the whole ecosystem in a bit.
Cool.
All right, so let's pull up this sandbox. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Is a punab that we've only seen like once beforehand. And,
That's my guy right there. That's bona fide.
Yeah, like he was the second smallest one underneath the Fotoli right there, and he's got a lot of work done on him since. There were a
Just 'cause he has
few like
glasses, I'm good.
yeah. When there's a couple of pictures in the foundation room of him chilling around, so yeah, looks very cool.
Yeah, I love
And,
the details.
Yeah, for sure. I like the gold.
In the glasses. Yeah.
There was also this sandbox competition,
Yes.
which you mentioned. Do you want to go ahead?
Are any
Yeah,
of you
so what
guys
exactly
familiar with
is that?
Blondish?
Who can break that down as to what that relationship is?
Uh, it's quite questionable at this point. They're like giving rewards from both metaverses as rewards, so it might share some of their users that are like only in one.
Yeah, what all I was able to gather, Jesse, was that they basically have a partnership of some sort. What I see from that is, I mean, Sandbox is the front runner as far as metaverses that are active right now. They're the hot spot. And so for Star Atlas to have a partnership with them, you're talking possibly cross promotion, things like that. Sounds like it's a pretty good deal for Star Atlas, in my opinion. So I don't know what Sandbox would be getting out of it, besides
Well,
all the
part of
people that
it,
follow Star Atlas coming to Sandbox possibly, but you know.
yeah, part of it is to create like one of the faction people, I believe, in their Vox edit system. And that can be like uploaded as an NFT into like the Sand metaverse. So yeah, there is that, and yeah, they'd be able to like play as anything they create basically and upload.
And this blondish person is one of the music creators who was a part of the original poster project that
Yeah.
helped launch Star Atlas. Does anybody listen to her music or no?
No, not exactly.
Okay.
But
Well, we probably have just from all the posters.
right,
Yeah,
right.
that part, right.
But yeah, Metaverse Explorer, shout out if you search him up on YouTube. He made a great video explaining the competition and what the rewards are. So yeah, up to $60,000 worth of rewards between ships and actual tokens of sand. If you are able to have a 3D model created and then win, I guess, the first place. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like getting a lot of people interested, or getting their creative hat on, putting their creative hat on for anything 3D building, modeling.
Yeah. Any of you artists out there, get that back.
Yeah, try it out.
Probably get a decent ship out of it, I would think. So
Yeah, and that was pretty much it for Star Atlas this week. Just having a quick look at the roadmap before we move on.
right on.
Yeah, interesting to see all of this green. Be a completely different game by then.
Right on, Ray. Did you have anything for Axie?
Yeah, just one short things on just like a handful of games that that I'm a part of, invested in, or keeping track of. So let me just share my screen real quick, and then I guess we can talk of Gala. We got
Illuvium and Gala after you do your thing.
Cool.
So, if you want a bit of time to set it up, I can go with Illuvium. It's quite short.
Oh well, I'm here now.
No
just
problem.
popping me up, and yeah. So what I'll say just for Axie Infinity is that there was a development update on the 27th. So the community of Axie Infinity has been on an emotional roller coaster with the delay of the Ronin Bridge opening back up. So that's been pushed back. And there was a post-mortem that was shared on what exactly happened. The official post-mortem, which you can check out in the official Discord. Also, I guess it was posted on their Twitter, but it lays down exactly what happened. And it's basically the end of that with the post-mortem, but moving on to May, the ending of May is when the bridge should open up. There was a delay there. And we'll see how markets react, because a lot of people on crypto Twitter, again, like I mentioned earlier, there's just those bag holding people who want to see prices go up or sustain a certain levels, no matter what's happening in the markets. Uh, they come out in droves, and there's a great opinions and suggestions that are made by community members. Sometimes they're listened to, and sometimes not. I could imagine, being a developer, a lot of good intentioned, threads on Twitter could be drowned out. So you have to really set up some place where everyone can come together and just either share questions that are reviewed in some way. So that's also something that was talked by the team, specifically Jihos, where they're going to set up a website or something of the sort, not just another channel in a Discord somewhere, where there can be a forum, like an ongoing thread of questions and answers related to specific topics, whether it be land, and the staking, which will be coming soon. So there was a lot of controversy and back and forth on why have land holders not been able to, based off of what was, I guess, promised, literally, uh, any landholders were not able to earn rewards in AXS. So that's something that's also coming soon. No exact dates, but if you have land, you'll be able to soft stake it for some AXS rewards. And then there was a development update, or an update that was deployed for the game itself for V3. There's a lot of card buffs and nerfs that took place because a lot of cards and teams were broken. It made for some good time and entertainment if you were keeping up with any of those broken builds, where you just instantly kill your opponent in round one based off of the combination of runes and charms and specific axes. So that was entertaining. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Axie. Just stay tuned. Another game that's pretty big with a lot of money, and going through growing pains as well. But
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to watch the critics and detractors over the next couple of months. 'Cause I think you'll start to see a lot of that start to fall apart as a lot of the guys that are in the market to make a quick buck start to leave, and the people who are here because they're in the space because they see what's happening are the only ones left. I think you'll see a lot of the trivial FUD like you were talking about. That's because they haven't, because their token or their NFT took a dip this week. The people who are watching floor prices, those people I think are going to have to start exiting here soon.
yeah, there's so many people who were in the community for a while who started selling their Genesis plots that are floor priced around like 100 ETH right now.
Mhm.
And here, yeah, you could check out the Ronin blockchain, that Substack, for all of what postmortem related information. But yeah, the community on Twitter, and then even on the Discord, there's a lot of people selling some assets, just done with the back and forth between community and the developers of the project on what should happen, when it should have happened, how it could have happened, compared to other projects in the space and what happened there between
Mhm.
those projects. But yeah, there was land plots for 100 ETH that were purchased just today, actually. If we go to the top here,
So they're still at 100 ETH.
yeah, for Genesis plots. So like there's going to be people who are going to be supporting the project no matter what, and
Mhm.
just purchasing up these rare assets that if the team follows through sooner than later, you would be benefiting from.
Is that way down from the all-time high, 100 ETH?
I'm not. I wasn't keeping track of Genesis plots, but they were well over.
Well over 100.
Yeah, well over 100, like 200
Because
plus.
that's what
one
I'm
time
saying.
500.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a 100 ETH kind of guy, but I'm definitely all the
Uh-huh.
projects that haven't changed that I still believe in that are at record lows right now. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm grabbing stuff up. So I see that happening.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, keep your eye out for any deals if you still believe in any of these projects who are getting exploited or taking
Yep.
their time in different ways. I just wanted to touch on Undead Blocks. We had Grant, executive director, on as a
Shout out to
guest
Undead
just
Blocks.
2 weeks ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to Grant.
He's a good guy.
He's on Twitch all the time, streaming the game with updates. On Thursdays, I think, are the main days. But their white paper has come out since then, and you can read up all on the token and updated information on the game because their official white paper has dropped. And then also their undead token is listed on Gate.io, so you can definitely buy some up there, or wait until May 4th to purchase it off of Uniswap with the direct listing, and then you can get the exact. There's an article on their thread on Twitter, and you could check out the wallet, the actual contract address for the token. So don't make sure you keep your wits about you and just don't buy any tokens unless you have the contract address. Excuse me. And yeah, so I took part in the beta boot camp. So 100 people could play the actual game of what it's going to be released to the public, and it was pushed out to also the winners of the giveaway that was had in the Rome Discord for those who participated in the poll that I threw in the announcements page. So you might have an email that was pushed out to you, so you can also play not just the beta you were playing, which was only up to round 5, if you were doing the horde shoot 'em upper round after round, but you could also now play the official game and try to break things so it's developed further until further release. So that's pretty cool. They got their token.
Shout out to all of you guys in the Rome Discord that are participating.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And then so Nifty Island was another. We had the co-founder Charles on at a pre-recording just this past week, and the scarce land model is something that's growing on me and in the space in general, because as we saw Yuga Labs selling land, and it's not scarce, right? There's a finite amount of land, and it just throws everything off in the space when it comes every time you have to buy something new, land or whatever it is. But you have Nifty Island partnering where everyone gets their free island that they could build on top of, and they're partnering with a lot of projects in the space that are well known, like Chain Runners and Forgotten Runes, and they're creating these 3D models of their avatars that partner up with Nifty Island. So you'd be able to, if you have the NFTs and even MFers, you would be able to play as your actual NFTs and use them in the metaverse of Nifty Island. Right?
Looks really good.
Right, you got Bored Ape Yacht Club's Ape, and these are some of these assets are owned by the founders and creators of the game, but they just announced and released their Palm DAO, where now anyone can donate an NFT. So they also have a Moonbird and a Azuki, and what else they had? You could check a list of all of what they have, and if you're a Palm NFT holder, you have almost fractionalized ownership and can play as any of those NFTs that are 3D modeled, which are held in the Palm DAO. So that's pretty cool, where you might always wanted to play as a chain runner if you're interested in chain runners, but you could just test things out and use the NFTs that are vaulted in the actual Palm DAO. And then so also what's going on right now are votes. If you own a Palm, there's voting for council members for each rarity of Palm. So there's iron, bronze, then there's silver, gold, then there's neon, and one more, ultra. There you go.
Do you feel like Nifty Island is an upgraded version of World Wide Web, or do you think that they're totally
They were
different?
before World Wide Web. So I got in the first month of Nifty Island. It's been a long journey, but only 9 months since then, and the amount of progress that's been made is just like, World Wide Web is doing something a little different, but this interoperability and IP of different NFTs that are created in the space, new or old, it's good to see that this is happening. There's another project called Webaverse, which is doing almost the exact same thing, where I'm not sure if they're selling any particular land, but World Wide Web, they sold NFTs, right? They have apartments, they have penthouses, they have
Right.
That's
the whole thing with them is buying the real estate NFT.
Right. So there are projects who are doing similar things as far as the play with your NFT, open metaverse API, API, like just the IP of these projects. But Nifty Island is literally the epitome of scarce land model, social web gaming, right? So you're going to have a total different experience compared to a 2D, 8-bit type of World Wide Web situation. Both are great projects. I love playing World Wide Web.
The Nifty Island graphics are far superior.
Yeah, and they're hiring in droves right now, so you can check out their careers page, and then they're looking for developers, 3D modelers, right? There's weekly pistol challenges, so they have NFTs, but if you check out the interview on our YouTube channel, you'll learn way more about it. Yeah, it's a
The thing
great
that interests
project.
me the most about projects like this is that you had games in the Web 2 era, like what are these games like Second Life and stuff like that. There's a lot of different add-ons to that genre, but the point is that a lot of people were really engaged in these things as far as creating their avatar, and they would like create clothes and all these things and sell them, and it was basically like a social game.
Right.
And so that's what you have here is you have the ability for social gaming using your NFT. You know, if you have like a special NFT like a Bored Ape or something like that, you can use it somewhere. So it's pretty
Right.
cool.
Yeah, and they have their TikTok running. You can check out all their videos on their Twitter. Definitely get involved and check it out. And then we did a giveaway as well. We had 25 slots available, and I did a 24-hour poll in our Rome Discord channel, announcements channel. And if you won, congratulations. And thanks for reaching back out, sending your address. So you're able to play and your wallet address is whitelisted. So before the game actually is released, you'll be able to build and chill with your friends. And if you're interested in wanting some people to help you build on your island, you can do that. Give permissions, so everyone can be building in unison. And there'll be games that come soon after, once the game is live. So, yeah, so that's pretty cool. Check them out. Lots of stuff to consume when it comes to Nifty Island. They're pushing. And then Nyan Heroes. This caught my eye. I knew about the project on Solana from when it was first created, their Discord. And I left the Discord soon after because I just didn't understand it completely. But they did come out with a cinematic trailer, which is totally just awesome. I'm going to say awesome. So I don't mind if I play it here.
Go ahead.
You say you never meant to harm. Foolish, aren't we? Talk to someone that's instead. I'll be lurking. Play you like a ball down. Moving silently. I'm always a step ahead. Don't even think you could break me.
You're right. The video does look really good. I'm so glad that I watched the video before you told me that was cats in mech suits, because I totally would have been engaged at all.
Yeah, all the Kitsune folk are going crazy. That's for sure. You know. So yeah, I think it's a great cinematic trailer, and I'm excited. If you go on their Discord, I'm sure they probably show it here, but there's footage of, and this was just a part, what do you call it, with Aurori project on Solana as well. They just collabed, and they have a one of one Neon Cat. But there's a lot of gameplay footage too, short clips, just like you might get from different games you're in, whether Gala or other games that are in development, like Star Atlas, and they show what it's looking like in the game, different items that and I guess body equipment that you'd have on your mech, your cat mech. So yeah, I'm excited to see more gameplay footage because this game is something just totally different than what I thought it was going to be. You know, a lot of activity, great community, and I have a cat. So for the record, I'm ready to.
Are they close to a game?
So that's the thing. Like, I've been out of touch with the project, so I'm not sure exactly how close they are. But because of that cinematic trailer, I'm sure they're not as far as we might think. But I'm not sure, so don't take any word on me. Okay, what the hell?
Yeah, it'd be good to hear from our Discord about it.
Yeah,
In our
but I'll
project
pull up
channel.
that. Yeah, I'll try to keep up with it because it's a really good looking game, and I can see it really being one of those AAA quality uh, type of games that are competitive. Um, so don't be deceived by cats. That's the lesson of today.
Yeah, cats in mech suits.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. Definitely check out their Discord, and they have like a leaks uh, a leaks channel, and you can check out way more of what's going on behind the scenes as far as development outside of their Twitter. I was just scrolling here just to see if I could, but I don't know. I don't want to keep scrolling here, so I'll just hop off.
Right on. You got more?
No, that was it. You can do some Gala stuff.
Well, before we go into Gala, let's let Fancy talk to us about some Illuvium stuff because I know we at least have a video on the land sale, and maybe we have some information on it.
Yeah, so they released a cool little video that shows all the different types and tiers of land that are going to be available soon, and let's jump into it. Yeah, it looks cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was. I'm curious to just, again, I think about Nifty Island, the game we just finished talking about, and whenever I hear land sales of any sort, it's kind of getting played out on some level. Not to say that the project is not going to be successful with land versus having no land, or just having land accessible for everyone to then build and earn in a different way. So the model could still be sound, and I'm just looking forward to Illuvium because they are one of those sounder projects in the space that have the backing and the community support all along. So
It's going to be interesting in the future here, coming up here soon, right? Because you're going to have all these games start to go live, and it's going to be interesting. Obviously, the players are going to be split between which games they're going to be playing. It's going to be interesting to see how things develop at that point.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be really cool to have a big piece of land producing loads of fuel for any game that can use it under the ILV ecosystem.
Yeah. Anyone buying land here?
I think the prices have went up a bit. I'm not sure because they got delayed because of the hack. So
when does it sell live?
I still don't know, but like promotional videos like this land sale explained. I think we watched this before, but we could re-watch it.
Yeah, but we don't have a hard date yet, right?
Not yet. No, they're still like in the marketing phase and finessing. So
the hype.
Yeah, holding pattern. So
if I don't know what the base price is yet, but if it's reasonable, I'll try and scoop up something. I've been just because I've been a fan of the project for quite some time. I like the whole tokenomic structure. I think is unique that they put in place, and I want to see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You actually have your staking live already, right?
Yeah, I like the fact it's mobile friendly as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's so key to me.
Yeah,
being mobile friendly, or having a mobile option that you can at least do little stuff with is key nowadays.
Yeah, so that's it with Illuvium, and I guess we're on to Gala and Mirandus now. We got this cool video showing lighting and clouds, and it looks really great.
Yeah, Mirandus is starting to look pretty exciting to me. Interestingly enough, I don't know what you guys think, but at one point we were thinking that Miranda's might come out after Star Atlas, but Star Atlas is so heavy. What do you think about the possibilities of Miranda's coming out sooner?
It won't be this year, and
No, not this year. But what do you think about next year?
I think it's possible.
It's looking good.
Yeah, and this just could be my delusion, but it just seems to me that things with Mirandus and even with other projects at Gala tend to move along at the speed of needed perception for things to be moving along. And so I think that at least with Star Atlas, I kind of feel like there's a lot going on under the hood, and that they are scrambling and they are hiring and they are doing the things that they need to do. And so once some of those things start to fall in place, I think we'll see aspects of the game. We certainly won't see the completed finish of either, even with Mirandus, with the things that they want to do, with the way that they want to build in AI to have the system responsive like a simulation. We won't see those things really fully worked out for the next couple of years. So I think we're going to see bits and pieces of each released and continue to develop over time.
Yeah. Yeah, they're talking about having I forget what they called it, but like basically a piece of the game live at the end of this year. So like you're saying, I'm thinking probably next year instead. They'll probably have that out. So it'll be interesting to see. But it's starting to look pretty good, which is real nice.
Yeah, I really like this picture.
I mean, we're actually going to get the first play test of 2022 in the middle of the year.
Right. Yeah. And Mike McCarthy's been doing the he's been reaching out a lot as far as in the Discord and being active and stuff like that. So that's good to see as well, because it looks like they're actively building the game. And interestingly enough, I kind of lost faith in this part, but I think they're actually building it with the community like they said they were going to do, which is actually interesting, because he does seem to be engaging the community, asking for ideas, taking it back to the team and iterating. So
what I would like to see, that I don't know that any project is really doing really well. I mean, maybe DeFi Kingdoms has like a small part of it, just where there's enough interactive game flow where, and maybe that's not a good example, but I'd love to see one of these that is developing into a world where we expect it to have a fully thriving virtual economy, to kickstart that economy with something that is downscaled dramatically in graphics, but allows you to begin crafting some stuff, allows you to begin selling it, that actually kickstarts a marketplace, kickstarts an economy. You got to prime that pump before all of a sudden you're going to expect this big, huge AAA game to have this massively beautiful world wherever all of a sudden there's all of this economic exchange. It just won't be like that. So hopefully we see, especially McCarthy revisit the idea of a mobile or desktop version that is just for the purposes of crafting and getting the economy going. Hopefully he revisits that as something that can make the roadmap instead of kind of being an afterthought.
Yeah. I think it's necessary for the game, even after, it's live, right? Because, you have so much manufacturing going on in a game like that you're going to want people to be able to be mobile, tending to their shops and stuff like that, even if they're not actively out in a raiding party or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say to Punjab's comment here, there was the Miranda's Twitter account mentioned the billboards on deeds, and that'd be cool. But I guess before we get to any of that, I think it's a great, because every one of these games are gonna have some in-game marketing type of plans or situations where other centralized exchange will have banners up and all, but like on a timeline of when that's going to be possible in a 3D type of environment, maybe sooner than later. But if we're talking years, like what Jess was saying, we can have something just what did you call it? 50,000 foot view looking down, like Star Atlas, or even like you mentioned, DeFi Kingdom, something where there's items already that exist that can be harvested, that can be used. I think this is what's happening with a lot of games, where it's just like the community at some point needs to see and do something other than what they've been doing, which isn't really anything game related per se. So everyone could decide that on their own. But yeah.
You know what I think would be interesting, and this is kind of when I first heard about Materium, and I don't know enough about blockchain and tokenomics to really understand if this is a viable solution or not. But it occurs to me that within a gaming economy, maybe instead of having everything as NFTs, that anything that is a commodity could be a token. And then it's the market that decides the value of one related to other. Let's say you've got a token that is wood. So every piece of wood that's chopped of a particular tree is that token. And then it's comparable to what, depending upon how many people are harvesting it, its value will go up with supply and demand. And it just seems easier than having this wallet full of infinite number of NFTs related to something you just chop down, rather than it having being tokenized. It seems that that's why I like the idea of them tokenizing Magic. I think that made sense. And I think you could
actually
do that.
a really good idea. I thought, yeah.
Yeah, and I think you could do that with other things that are kind of a commodity that gets high use.
It kind of rolls with the. I think Mike McCarthy is the type of dev to make a harder kind of game, like not so much like an easy mode kind of game, but a game that has a lot of difficulty and not grind, but intrigue and detail to it, and that's one of the elements, right? Is you don't want people just throwing fireballs around all the time. You want it to be something that hurts. It has to cost you. It's really important, So I like that idea.
Yeah, we did have the ring of Discord that was dropped to node owners, and we don't know exactly what it does, but there is a description. And shout out to Ramega in our Metaverse Nomads channel in our guild Discord server called Rome, which you can join up at gorome.io if you want to join up on our Mirandus guild, and we also have a Star Atlas guild, so definitely check it out. But yeah, so the description is the mesmerizing glow from the ring of Discord is a reminder that magic is ancient and dangerous. Only those brave enough to seek this adventure shall be rewarded with riches. May the ring of Discord light be the way. So Ramega did mention in our group chat here, maybe it's a mini lantern because there's a lot of light. There's a lot of light in that sentence. So that would be nice, where you can maybe not have so much light as compared to a lantern, but it's enough to you can survive out there and not have I guess
that's one thing that bothers me just a little bit about him is like you can tell like is this game going to be like super dark all the time or what? Because like he's making light a commodity in this game. You know what I mean? Like light is so important.
Well, get used to it. Everything's gonna be a commodity and sellable. Right. Hopefully not, but if that's the case, then yeah.
Well, I would think that also protects your emphasis on the avatars that the exemplars that actually have the ability to see to some degree in the dark. Because here's the thing: if this is a simulation and they're using AI to drive monster choices, and you're walking through the woods at night with a lantern, you just you might as well put some salt and pepper on you too.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Observer as well. He holds it down all the time for Mirandus. Yeah, he thinks also in our Discord chat that McCarthy's saying about the rings that he wants to use the tech to allow us to craft guild rings that do the same glow thing. So they're beating around the bush about this glow thing and what the glow thing means. But imagine if we can, make Rome rings
so dark
that
you
include
can't see
other
without
buffs.
a ring that glows.
Right. So if every guild is going to be able to create rings, then I guess whatever you enchant the rings with, which would be a common thing, as you can do that with weapons, using Materium. I guess it would be up to you. But I don't think if these skills, and that's the thing, we could get into the theory crafting of like what skills can you find or enchantments can you find out in the world that you're going to be able to use that give you a stronger buff in some way than another guild and its team members who don't really go out and venture in a way that's, I guess, more dangerous to then reap those rarer rewards. So, yeah, we'll see how this ring situation plays out.
So this ring is worth like the current sell price right now is like $130 on OpenSea. And nobody knows what it does. It's kind of like the default. If you got a crappy NFT and you don't know what it does, it's $100 basically.
Well, that, and also the other thing that we can use to gauge is it's listed as an uncommon. So if it was listed as an ancient, nobody's selling it for $130.
pretty much. And
Your
KNet,
free
yeah.
trial of
Shout
light
out.
has expired. Please pay 30 Ethereum to continue
Continue
playing. I
Do
playing.
love
not
that.
pass
page.
go. Do not collect 300 gala. That's funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Your first bit of light's free. You're gonna have to pay for the next one though.
What you selling? What you buying? I got some light. That's some old school. But yeah, I guess. Oh yeah. So there's the May mayhem for if we're still talking about gala.
Oh, yeah,
For
we got
these.
more stuff on Gala, but go ahead. Yeah, jump to
Oh,
Tom.
so let's do more
You're fine.
gala
Go
stuff.
ahead. Keep going.
Oh, for gala, yeah, right. Not Miranda's. So there's a spider tank, $1.5 million in rewards. It's a competition, and we're gonna have a team of 3. Observer is heading that, and we're gonna make an announcement in our Discord. So if you're interested in teaming up and representing Rome, in the mayhem for spider tanks, then definitely come join us up and then start taking part in conversation, and seeing if you wanted to join up on a team. So that could be fun because it is one of the only games that are playable right now and that you have some earning capacity. We do have the tokens for spider tanks being dropped and fauceted to us via our nodes if you have nodes.
That's a fake token right now, though. It's not a
Right.
credible token, right?
Right. Thanks for the clarification on that. So it's something to look forward to, I guess. I'll say. So you
Right.
can't really do anything with those tokens, but if this is the beginning of what was talked about earlier on, then we're going to have a lot of different types of tokens coming in as a node owner, in the short and long future of, I guess, the whole
Beautiful
ecosystem.
thing. Yeah, if you're in the spider tanks or if you're a node owner, then you're getting that silk token here in the possibly in the near future. But the elephant in the room is not only do we have some spider tank teams forming in the Rome Guild, but also we have a legendary spider tanks player who famously had Bitbender crying on stream saying, "Oh, Fancy Head's great." And I want to know what team Fancy Head's going to be on.
If he's playing, we have
Even playing, yeah.
I don't have my chicken anymore.
no.
Well, yeah.
So
I
for the
didn't
record,
get mine either.
I still have a chicken, and I wouldn't mind because of my time constraints here that I have for the time being. I don't mind renting out my chicken. It's a rare chicken that someone could use to represent Rome. So I guess hit me up, and if you're down for the cause to represent Rome, you can use my chicken. I was gonna say the other word, but it's a joke. So if you know what I mean, you can use my chicken.
Nice one.
Right on.
Ditto.
So that's what we have for spider tanks. What do we have for Snoop Dogg, Fancy?
I wasn't sure. I put question mark next to that one. We were talking a bit about him beforehand.
Oh, okay.
So, a couple other bits on Gala news. One is that to be able to take advantage of those things that are provided to node holders, make sure your node is active. They have been known to drop off without notice, and that's just the nature of testing and growing the node network. But also they've created a new subdomain of their site. I forget where they listed that, but a way for you to log in and get more information about your node and the node network. So there was a new login for that within the past week or so. And then also with regards to Mirandus, is that as a part of the May Mayhem, Mirandus is in that, and they're doing $1 million in prizes, and you simply have to have something Mirandus related within your wallet as of a few days back on the 29th when they did their snapshot, and then you get 1 golden ticket. It's my understanding. So, yeah, good luck to you all.
Yeah, Townstar May Mayhem starts today, right? So that right
actually,
there.
It starts
go ahead.
Monday. Just
Monday.
a quick update. Yesterday at 4:30, it was an announcement in Gala. So it says your mission. So week 1 of at Spider Tanks Mayhem starts Monday. It says your mission, if you choose to accept it, play the most matches. So in order to create a level playing field during the week 1, we will be making 2 changes. So 1, players won't be able to party together, and 2, tanks will be equal in power for 1 week. Player must play a full match to qualify as match played, and then week 1 beginning May 2nd at 9 a.m. PT. Well, I guess there's a discrepancy there. Oh, well, today is the first. Oh, so excuse me. So the beginning May 2nd at 9 a.m. And then the total prizes is $250,000 in Gala token, and then there's 125K to top 1 to 2% for most matches played, and then 125K again to top 3 through 10% for most matches played. So it says be on the lookout for more details come soon, and we'll get you pumped to invite your friends.
And so with Townstar, you're able to basically earn a certain amount of town coin every day. And then with this May Mayhem event, you're also going to be able to earn all these big prizes. Next week, subject to his availability, we'll have, hopefully we'll get Lycan Warlord on. This is a fellow YouTube streamer who streams, from what I could tell, everything Gala, but we'll ask him about it. And one of the main things he streams that I've actually seen a lot of value in is his Townstar content. So I was sitting around several months ago once the Townstar Play to Earn actually went live. And I was like, okay, I have a few NFTs. Maybe I should start putting them to work. And I go on YouTube to figure out how to play this game. And Lycan Warlord was my favorite source as far as learning how to build my town up and stuff like that. So we'll get him on, and hopefully we'll be able to get some strategies and stuff from him about what he's doing as far as May Mayhem goes. And then back to Snoop Dogg. I've been consuming a lot of Snoop Dogg content lately. Just trying to see where his head's at as far as I don't know if everybody knows, but he bought Death Row and he pulled the music from all the platforms. So Spotify, Apple, you're not able to stream the Death Row catalog anymore. And he's doing that because he's bringing it all basically to NFTs in the metaverse. And one of those, I don't think he's exclusive with anybody, but one of the deals he has is with Gala and with their Gala music platform. So it's an interesting thing that's building right now on that. I wasn't sure about the Gala music nodes before. I'm starting to get more comfortable with the idea of buying more of those music nodes in the future. And I am already a holder now as far as that goes. So it's part of why I've been paying attention to it.
Nice. Yeah.
So
Don't have any music related nodes, but more power to Snoop Dogg. He's the businessman, and yeah, he's killing it.
yeah, he's pretty much, as far as celebrities go, he might be the most marketable celebrity that we have today, or possibly ever. I don't know, but he's all over everything. He puts his name on stuff and he gets a bag for it all the time. And that's one of the things that worries me about it. But it's also one of the things that's interesting because he seems very passionate about pushing Death Row to be a Web3 music label, the first Web3 music label, and getting the when you're in music, the label and the infrastructure of music delivery tends to take a lot of the money that's earned. And so what he's interested in doing is saying, hey, you know what, most of the money is going to go to the artists and to the people who are actually listening, and we're going to get rid of that.
Did he speak to what that implies as a decision? Because, okay, first of all, he's a label, so which means he bought a bunch of assets that are
Correct.
under that label.
Correct.
But how are you attracting new art to that label if you just got through saying, hey, you know what, come sign with my label, but we're not going through normal distribution channels? And like, well, then where the hell are we going?
The thing is that he's already able to offer more money because of that, right? So traditionally, artists didn't really make a lot of money when they put out an album. You heard it on the radio. That just meant that you heard it on the radio. For far as the artist was concerned, they got clout, they got notoriety for that, but they didn't get money for that. They used to get their money almost not exclusively, but the majority of their money came from the live gigs, the concerts, the shows, the appearances, things like that. So what he's doing now is he's saying, okay, when you put out an album, you're actually going to get paid for putting that music out. And that's that NFT. So you're going to get a chunk of that money. So
but
right
where
off
do I
the
buy
bat,
it today? If he signs someone today and they're already on the label, where do I buy that music?
So he signed, Gala actually just did 2 sales for Death Row. One was a lady and one was a guy that sounds a lot like Marvin Gaye. and they both dropped a handful of songs. I don't know if it was like 4 or 5 songs, maybe even a whole album. And they sold out. So right there, that's a lot more than they would have gotten from a traditional label right off the bat. Now, as far as how it's going to work, as far as when people start trying to stream this music, how that's going to work,
Right.
how they're going to get paid, how the people who are playing with the music nodes and listening to the music, the whole listen to earn concept. I haven't seen any, we're not going to ever get a white people out of Gala on that, right? So, so there's no telling how it's all going to work. However, I mean, let's be real. I mean, Gala's they're trailblazing and they're doing the work. Even if they're not telling you what they're going to do before they're doing it, they're actually the proof is in the pudding. The things that they're doing, as far as success goes, they are one of the most successful projects out there. Period. You can't deny that. So I guess we'll see is the point, right? Well, it all remains to be seen. But you're watching history get made. We've never seen a record label take their music off of all the streaming platforms before, as far as I know, which is pretty huge. And so now you're developing an appetite for it because people can't go out and stream, Doggy Style and The Chronic and all these old songs from Snoop Dogg right now. They can't stream them. You can go on YouTube and find them or whatever, but you can't stream them on Spotify or Apple, right? So now when he comes out with his Death Row label app, we'll see what happens. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Can't stream, but can you? Now that's from the streaming apps, but can you buy it on Apple Music and things like that?
I went on Spotify the other day. That's the one I used to confirm, and you can't get Death Row on Spotify. It's not there.
Interesting.
Like you can pull it up. Like they have the indexing is still there, so you can see the songs, you can see the album. You just can't interact with it. So it's basically like a historical ledger showing that the song does exist, but you can't access it.
Right.
What's going to be great is when they redirect you to the different website or the other platform to then buy a music node off of Spotify. So all these places.
Oh no, I don't think that'll happen. I don't think that'll ever happen.
Well, maybe. But if there's any incentive for Spotify to do that, if they partner up with these, record labels like Snoop Dogg's being one of them, and then if there's some deal cut there, then it's just like any song that you do click in the index that shows, but you can't listen to it on Spotify, you can just now get, just transferred over to where you can listen to it.
What I do know is that Gala has an insane war chest when it comes to marketing whenever they're ready. And so, when they decide they want to start pushing out the Death Row app or the Gala Music Note app where you can stream these songs exclusively, or it's not even exclusive, but you get what I'm saying. Like that's gonna be interesting to see. I don't know if it's gonna work out or how it's gonna play out or anything because this is all brand new, and I don't even think they necessarily know. But what I am hearing from Snoop, which is why it's in the notes, is I'm hearing the conviction now. Like at first, I just thought he was just here to get a bag, but he did actually pull the music from all the streaming companies, which I didn't expect. So I think he's in it. I think he's in it with both feet. So we'll see what happens. As far as we never give financial advice anyway, so I'm not saying that everybody's going to be able to earn a whole lot alongside Snoop Dogg, but he's definitely here in the metaverse to stay. It looks like.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know more about his model because I was just looking up, and you can still access all the stuff on Apple Music. So it's like, was he being
Can you
selective?
play it?
And, yeah.
From Death Row or from him particularly?
Like
if you look up like Doggy Style or you look up like The Chronic and stuff that was on the Death Row, you got to realize Death Row didn't have that many albums, to be honest.
Right. I see what you're saying. So he was, and so that would be a move
Death
for him
Row catalog,
makes sense because that doesn't put him at complete risk with his music. He's just he's putting a fence around what he's sticking out into the world.
It's all his original stuff. Like the first few years of Snoop Dogg basically is what was on Death Row. After that, he went, all over the place. So
yeah.
Right on. Anybody have anything else?
No, that seems to be it.
Well, right on. Nice May 1st broadcast with the market's bleeding deep in the bear market, so uh taking it easy, buying these sales, staying engaged with the projects that really matter, and not seeing so many of the distractions as far as all the fake projects and the scams coming across your desk that you got to kind of weed through as much. So it's a lot easier out there right now. So I'm at peace and having a good time in the space. Before we close out, any last words, Jesse?
No, just surprised. I'm also not seeing a big burst of new projects, and it would think that this would be an interesting time for them to use the model that's already existed at a lower price to raise capital. But yeah, I'm just curious why that is. But I'm
Well, I
gonna keep
disagree
my
with
eye
that
on it.
because
What's that?
I disagree with that because we saw this in 2018, the same thing, right? You had the ICO boom, and then all of a sudden in 2018, a lot of these projects stopped coming out, and it was only the ones who really wanted to build who were actually here, because the honeypot's just a lot smaller. You can't just go out and make a 1,000 ETH on a on an NFT drop right now. It's not going to happen for you. So you know, um, any last words there, Ray VZ?
Yeah, as far as like new projects coming up, we could always talk about Steppin. That's another one. Maybe not today, but there's
I
just
think
so many. There's a great.
one of us should put something together on that. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a projects channel in our Discord, which if you feel free to, you could just talk about any project you want. But Steppin seems to be all the rave with the walk to earn model. Next to Genopets, which is another one that's kind of right below the surface of all the fame when it comes to Steppin, and we'll see if it's sustainable model. And then we got the Myra ecosystem that's being built out
That's right.
with their node model similar to Gala, right, where Myra token is going to be used for everything when it comes
Now,
to its game ecosystem and
what do you
transactions.
think about the team from Myria?
So I haven't looked at and seen exactly who they are, if even they're doxed or not. I think they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't gone that deep. I was just grinding my fingertips away to try to get one of those nodes. And I know Punjab, congrats. Maybe not, but yeah, some people were able to get into some situation where they were able to get the nodes. So we'll see how it all goes. It's still early, and it's a promising project that's doing it a little bit different. But it's a node. It's one of those node projects for sure.
Yeah, definitely send that video, Punjab. That'll be helpful. I did my cursory research on the project, made me nervous because it seemed like they were basically reselling Gala. There was like a lot of the games were like names like you got like Mario Kart, so they'd be like blockchain cart. So it wasn't like a lot. It didn't seem to be a whole lot of individuality when it came to the game setups or the game names even. And then as far as their ecosystem, they seemed like they were just doing a complete knockoff of Gala, which kind of made me nervous because that's too easy and it doesn't show vision. But I didn't really look into the team that much after that. So that's the question I have now is if the team is really good, obviously the project can do great. But
Right. Yeah, but definitely check out on their Discord the announcements channel. So if you scroll up on their announcements channel, you'll get the most information outside of any AMAs, if there are any, except for the one that Punjab mentioned that I know of. But there's a great information if you scroll up on what the project is in more detail and what the goal and the vision is compared to what you get into any conversations you'll have, because a lot of people are just grinding in the Discord. Maybe not anymore, but I haven't been there. So
yeah, shout out to all the people who are into my area. Send us some information if you guys are into it. Let us know what's going on so we can maybe cover it here in the future. So before we close out, Fancy, you have any last words?
Yeah, really happy with this little gameplay teaser. Looking
Yeah.
forward to more, especially in bite-sized chunks like this.
It's super funny because like I think I joined, I'm joining new Discords all the time. So I joined a Discord a couple of weeks ago, and some guy was talking about how Star Atlas was a rug pull and how he got scammed and Star Atlas and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? And he was like, basically, the fact that the market's down and that the game's not out already is what he was saying. That's why it's a scam. But at the same time, shout out to the Star Atlas team because you can see, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. They're coming out with updates on a regular basis, and the project's obviously being built. So, me personally, not financial advice. I'm still just rounding out my fleet, grabbing a ship here or there.
Some call them Ponzi, the Ponzi-nomics and the Ponzi models. Some people on the far end of the spectrum are, say that it's all a Ponzi at the end of the day, and then you got the other ones who are just like, you just got to wait a couple more years and it'll all play out in our favor. But we just really never know, because it's just, yeah.
I mean, me and Jesse were big braining in Discord a couple of weeks ago, I think, and we were talking about how the fact that, I mean, like, just looking at in detail of how to create and how to recognize a viable economy, we were kind of realizing that, I mean, the U.S. government, I mean, the United States economy is a big Ponzi at the end of the day. Like, it's not going to last forever, and it has a definite shelf life, and it's definitely a Ponzi, right? So when you look at it like that, yeah. So if you look at it like that, it's like, is there possible to have an economy that's not a Ponzi? That's what we were kind of going with, because we were talking about building our own economy, for the Rome Guild. So yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that 100%. We'll see.
Yeah, I kind of like joke about it in a way, but there's truth to it all, right? So any opinion or perspective you might hear in the space is just like, it's not too far fetched from what it could possibly become if it wasn't already created to be that, from the get go, which is like a Ponzi type of slow rug pull, because we know that happens commonly in the space. But from all the projects that I've talked about, or I'm interested in, as well as the ones that we have here on the show that we talk regularly about, it's for a reason, because it's just less likely. Yeah, the marketing models and how they fundraise and what they sell and how often they sell, all of these things are, could be red flags and things you might not like compared to other projects. But I highly doubt that Gala Games will disappear and cease to exist, and not at any point in time in the future bring some utility to Gala and incorporate it in many ways. And then, like same thing with Star Atlas, even Axie Infinity, it's going to be, you do it or you slowly become irrelevant in a different way. Over time, you might become relevant in a new way, right, to a new group of people for the next phase of growth. But it's just like, for all of us that have been here, I guess, what's our faith, holding on for so long. And then also, but that's why we got to get active, get into these Discords, talk and express your views and learn about more projects and what's going on, so you can have that constructive, conversation with the developing team, because they're out there and they're listening and they're reading. So hopefully they take it to heart and they favor and they listen to what's going on and adapt all the while. So it works out, but we don't know. That's why we're here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's to me, like I said earlier, it's a lot easier right now because it's not so easy just to go out and get a bag with a scam, and make, millions of dollars right quick overnight. I'm getting distracted a lot less, and I'm able to evaluate projects on that deeper level than I would like to, and look at them and say, hey, it's going to last for a 4-year cycle at least. You know what I mean? Because that's when you get your sell opportunities, is right in the middle of the bull run, right in the 2017 or the 2022 or the 2024. That's when you get your sell opportunities, if you don't like the project. So as long as you're there for the long term, you're going to be okay. Right on. So that was a great edition, May 1st of Metaverse Nomads, bear market vibes. And
episode 40.
Episode 40. Making progress out here. Shout out to everybody, and we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully we'll have, like I said, Lycan Warlord on. We'll talk a lot about Townstar, and as usual, we'll cover all the games and the fresh news that's coming out. So
awesome.
Yep. Yeah. Like, subscribe, do your thing, join Rome, take part in conversation in the games you like. And if there are any games that you want to see, just mention them. We could just open up a channel and talk about them, or you could just write them up here in the chat here while we're live. So appreciate you all. Join us at GoRome.io. And
hey, you know what? Thanks for saying that, Ray. I think everybody, let's shout out to the community. I mean, we get projects from you guys all the time, but now that we're in the bear market, we're going to have a lot more time for that. So anybody who has a project they like and wants to get covered, let's talk about it.
Hold each other's hands.
Get us on Discord.
And get through it together.
Yeah. If you have a mic, we're happy to have guests from the guild and community.
Absolutely. Right on. And with that, we will see you guys all next Sunday.
Peace.
Atlas Miner, you were born to push the block in search of ore. And now it's time that you are gone. So farewell, Atlas Miner. And farewell, Mud and ONI too. Who's the sector same to you? The pirate bastards ran him through. So farewell, Atlas Miner. They promised you a diamond mine, but I'll be damned, it's hard to find. I hope there's justice for their crimes. And farewell, Atlas Miner. And farewell, friend, don't take it hard. Getting killed ain't all that bad. They'll treat you well in the repair yard. So farewell, Atlas Miner.